Good morning and welcome back. So let's take a look at the final assignment of this course. It's worth 30% of your final grade. It should be completed in Microsoft Word or Google Docs only and submitted by 2 p.m. So it's a report, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be summarizing all the research that we did yesterday, and we're going to be presenting that research in a report. So you have the sections here that you need to include in the description of each section. There are 5 sections, and let me start by Microsoft Word. So if you're doing it in Word, okay, this is how you can begin. Okay, now I know some people really like templates, and templates are oftentimes a good idea. So let's type report and do a search. And you can see here we have a lot of report templates that you can draw on. So we can pick one. So I'm choosing this one here. Okay, and there it is. Now it is nice, it looks nice, but we may need to change a lot of that information. So we're going to put the title of our report in there, our company logo, and reports save us time, but if you find you're using a template and you're spending too much time modifying it, it sort of defeats the purpose. A template should be saving time for us. Another option, if you don't want to waste too much time playing around with a template, you can just create a blank document and you can start your report like this and put in the section. So let me go ahead and copy in a couple of the sections. In fact, I can take the whole thing and just simply copy all of that in and use that as a guide while I'm doing the assignment. So the New Toronto office, that's your first section, and you're going to fill in that information and then move down to subsequent sections. Now, let me show you how references work. So let's say you got some information from the IEEE Wikipedia page. So I'm going to go there now, and I'm going to bring up the article. Okay, so IEEE, and I'm going to copy that web address, come back here, and let's say I'm making a reference to something about access points. The way I would do that is I would just click after a point here, and I would mention something about where that information came from. So the way you would do that is you would go to References, and you would look for the section that says Citation and Bibliography. Okay, so References, Citation, Bibliography, and it's as simple as clicking Insert or Add a New Source. Okay, so what type of source is it? Well, look through the options here. It is a website. And the author, well, we can just call the author Wikipedia. We don't know exactly who wrote it. Actually, it's many people who wrote it. Paste the address in there. I don't know where we would do that. Oh, URL. So just simply paste that in and fill in the other information. So again, the name of the article is IEEE. The name of the website is Wikipedia, and fill in all the information that you know. If you don't know the year it was written and the month, that's not important. So let's click OK. So if you look carefully here, Microsoft Word inserted some brackets and it's mentioning the references. So don't worry about that. That should be there. Let me go ahead and put in another reference. Okay, so let's say this information came from the 802 standard. So let's go ahead and find that, 802.11. Again, let's pick a web page here. So that's going to be our reference. So I'm going to right-click and do a copy. I copied the URL or the address and return to Microsoft Word. So I want a reference for this line here. Where did that information come from? So again, we click on References, Citation, and we go ahead and insert, add a new source, and we just fill it in just like we did before. So the URL is the address. The author again is Wikipedia. The name of the web page, well, I think this was 802.11. And the name of the website again, Wikipedia, or whatever website you're using. And if you don't have the information about year, month, and day, that's perfectly fine. Now, some of you might have printed sources, journal articles, or a book. So you have different types of sources that you can put in here. But this is a website, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Again, you see the rounded brackets. Now, let me show you the magic here. In the final section, okay, you need to mention all your references and image sources. This is sometimes called a bibliography. So I'm going to show you the magic of Microsoft Word. Okay, I am now going to come in here and I am going to insert my references and sources by clicking on bibliography. There are various styles. I'm not going to be very picky right now. As long as you are mentioning, your sources, I'll be happy. So I'm choosing one here, and boom, it's automatically in there. Let's do a similar thing now, but we're going to do it with Google Docs instead. So to access Google Docs, go to your email, come to the Apps button, and click and go down, and you will find Google Docs. And you can do pretty much the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to, you're going to have to make a decision here. Are you going to search for a template? Okay, here's the template gallery. You can go through it and see if there's a template that you want to work with. Or you can start with a blank document. And the assignment comes with all the sections that you need to put in there. So just go ahead and highlight the sections and follow the same steps that that you did in Microsoft Word. So paste it in. Okay. Now with references and sources, I wasn't able to find that here. It might be buried somewhere in the menu. If you need to manually add in your references and you don't know what a bibliography looks like, well, just get any bibliography you want and imitate the style that they're using. So I see references right here, so I can just simply imitate the references that I see here. So I'm going to have a title called References. I'm going to mention a source. Of course, I'm not going to have a year, the name of the article, and so on. So you would have to manually type that out if you're using Google Docs, but otherwise the assignment will be fairly similar. The last thing that I wanted to show you is this reference here that has been included on writing a research report, and I recommend reading through this quickly before actually attempting the research report. There are different phases. Phase 1 is planning the report, and it gives you the steps, step 1, step 2, So a lot of it is common sense, a lot of it you've done already. You're really here. You're at the drafting phase of your report. So this is a rough copy. And if you want to send a draft to a colleague or a classmate to review it and get some opinions from them, that will help as well. So part 2 is coming up with a rough draft or a rough copy. Sometimes we call it a copy. And then finally, the last stage, you want to actually begin writing your report. So making an effective report, and they give you some useful tips in writing a report. So it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to read through it, and I think this page will help a lot. So this assignment is due today at 2 p.m. and it's worth 30% of your final grade. Please contact me by email if you have any questions.